इतना सा फर्क है कुछ होने में और बहुत कुछ होने में। इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में कि अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी कि एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और सातवें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा है। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
Good afternoon, one and all. We welcome each one of you to our Business Opportunity Over Chai webinar series. Franchise India, the brand which is helping each and every investor in getting the right business suggestions from us. We truly claim that no one sells more business than us because we have sold franchisee to all our investors. We have helped international and national brands to expand their business with our 70 plus offices. We welcome management team of Franchise India, Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am. Both are leading the team of business consultant who is helping day in, day out each one of you. The flow of the webinar we'll start with the formal presentation from brand side, then we'll take all your queries. We request you to please share your queries in question and answer box. The brand which we are presenting you today is Shahi Bhoj. Shahi Bhoj, the brand which was established in 1984, started their journey for Aurangabad. They are known for their delicious foods, finest service, and rich in flavor. And we welcome Ankit War, his partner at Shahi Bhoj, to take us the journey of this great brand. Thank you so much, Ankit, for joining in today. Over to you so that we can start with the formal presentation.
Thank you, Archana ji, for introducing me. My name is Ankit Agrawal. Our brand is based in Aurangabad, Maharashtra. We are operating since 1984. This Bhoj restaurant, Bhoj Thali restaurant, it was started by my father. Now myself and my partner Rishikesh Agrawal. In 2018, we started Shahi Bhoj by the name of Shahi Bhoj in Aurangabad only. Later in the year of 2019, we started in Latur, Pune. In Pune, we are starting another branch in the coming month. So in all, 5 outlets will be there as of now. 4 are company operated and 1 is franchisee operated. Latur, 1 is franchisee operated. And our motto is simple: we prefer quality over quantity. We serve quality food. Our ingredients are top class, and my dad had a vision. Aurangabad being a tourist place, it was started as a place for just for tourists only, because tourists used to prefer thali food. but slowly locals also started liking our food. So as we progressed, new dishes were added, like local Maharashtrian dishes. Kala masala is gravy is famous here in our mm, this part of area. So we have started that, and our is not the typical Gujarati sweet food, Rajasthani sweet food, which it is. We provide combination of many dishes, like we have chaat in it, we have spicy black gravy masala in it, shev bhaji is there every day, special. Hello, Archana ji, am I audible?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. Uh, right now, Aurangabad, there are two outlets. We are doing almost 25,000, 20 to 25,000 thali per month basis on an average basis. Uh, in Latur, we are almost doing 10,000. In Pune, we almost touched 7,000 thalis per month. And we have planned to start another outlet as well in Pune, which is company owned again. As small kids and this generation doesn't like thali food, so we have started Chinese and chaat as well, added chaat and Chinese as well to our menu. There every day there's a different type of chaat and Chinese dish in our menu.
So I think you can see on screen. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, my dad has started this restaurant. So I'm the second generation which is involved in this. And mm, since I have taken over, we have started almost four new restaurants, and planning to franchise out in Maharashtra only. Or we are looking for Maharashtra. We have delivery partners with Zomato, Dineout, Swiggy. They have helped us a lot in this pandemic time to keep our business going on, because due to COVID and restrictions at dining, so delivery was our only source of where we could do business. Zomato, Dineout, we have every and a subscription to Zomato, Dineout, Dunzo, Swiggy at all our outlets, whether they are available. Yeah, we require it requires minimum 2,000 square feet of area, carpet area, in which kitchen is set up, kitchen, store, and restaurant almost 1,200 to 1,500 restaurant. For restaurant, it is there, space is there. And it normally 100 cover restaurant it covers. Uh, on an average, we do 400 to 500 depending upon how the season is, what time of year it is. Thali at 370 rupees we are serving it, and daily parcels are almost 50 to 60. And mostly the parcels are from corporate side. Bulk parcels are there, like 25, 30 pieces every day they order it. Phase 1, we are targeting cities in Maharashtra, like Solapur, Kolhapur, it's there. Nasik has very good potential. And after that, major cities like Bombay and all, metro towns, Bombay hai. And after that, neighboring states like Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and Karnataka. And after that, as we grow, we'll go for pan India also. First, we want to focus on Maharashtra itself, because we feel Maharashtra is good for us. Yeah, our brand name, it has been registered. It has been registered with the proper authorities. We have a trademark registered for our Shahi Bhoj. The support from our side for the franchisees are like, first of all, first important thing is finding a site, finalizing it, preferably if it is ground floor standalone building, that would be much easier to operate and much easy to do business. Then our architecture team is there, based in Aurangabad only. Everything has been like pre-planned. What kind of space is required for kitchen, how much space is required for store, machinery and all. Our suppliers are fixed. They know what we require and what are our requisitions. And it has been all sorted out, from kitchen equipment to utensils to machinery and all, everything. Post opening, after the finalized restaurant has been set up, post opening and ongoing operations from our side will be like, first of all, as we are near to completing the restaurant, we need to start advertising, marketing and all needs to be taken care of. That support will be from our side, what to do and how to do things. And it will be, of course, locally, where we are situated, in which city it would be, it is not standardized, it will be according to that location. Will support from our side will be about the staff. Everything will be, each and every staff will be provided by us, the kitchen staff, the serving staff, the utility staff. Proper training, we have set up proper training SOPs for them. What need to, since the customer आने से लेके customer जाने तक, what needs to be done, that has been taught, that will be taught to them. Likewise, kitchen staff will be trained by on what to order, menu finalization to what to order, and what all things need to be done once the menu is prepared and how it is carried out. Our complete store setup is there. Our main, you can say, USP is our store. Everything is accounted for. A single toothpick is also accounted for from our side. We have such a robust store system in our restaurants. Everything is accounted for. There is a daily requisition register, which will be taught to to the franchisee owner, how to make it, and that helps in saving your cost a lot. In restaurant business, 3 to 5% cost saving is a huge amount. So it helps in that. When we meet and when we finalize, meet to discuss this, the whole concept you will be whole yeah, what the model and how things are done, how the restaurant is working, and everything will be discussed elaborately, thoroughly. After that, the final franchisee agreement would be signed between us. After that, the architect will start its layout work and planning, and which things to put in which place. That all things start. As the interior work starts, we start hiring people. Our kitchen staff is trained, and everything. There's a step-by-step process for pre-opening operation. That pre-opening process is there, and it takes almost 2 to 2.5 months to 3 months, depending on the location and everything, to open the restaurant and start the operations finally. Lastly, who all what is required by the franchisee owners? Uh, they don't need to have prior experience in restaurant field, or they have operated restaurant or something like that. Our systems are such. Can anybody who has basic knowledge of management and operations, how to do run business, he can also work with us, and he can also work at our restaurants. Our systems are so simple. Our motto is, you should not work, our system should work. So franchisees main goal would be to look at the systems which would have been placed. Are they work properly, to check with the staff. They don't need to get indulged in day-to-day activities. What's the menu, what raw material is there and what is not there. That would be all taken care of. You just need to check the system. The system is working properly. Anshulji, financials, please. You can take over it.
Sure, Ankitji, I will. So this is a 2,000 square feet restaurant setup. As Ankitji mentioned, we're looking at 100 to 120 covers capacity for this restaurant, right? The overall investment is about 50 lakh, which includes 5 lakh rupees franchise fee. Interior fit out is taken at about 1,200 rupees a square feet, which covers for the complete interior work, including signage and everything. So that's 24 lakh 60,000 rupees for interior fit out. Additional equipment of 12.5 lakh rupees, and some pre-opening expenses like architect fee, like Ankitji mentioned, the architect would come from Aurangabad only to do the complete restaurant design and everything, right? So that is taken into account, 2.5 lakh rupees for that. Licensing, the standard licensing that you would need for a restaurant, uniforms, training. So all in all, about 5 lakh rupees towards pre-opening expense also. So overall, a 50 lakh rupee investment. On the second table talks about the staff requirement. And given that this is a 2,000 square feet, 100 seats restaurant, the staff requirements are quite elaborate in this case. and we just give me 10 minutes, please. So we have this 35 people staff required, which is split into the management staff, which is restaurant manager, captain, and store executive. Then we have the kitchen staff, which is Rasoi chef, sweet chef, Farzan chef, chef assistant, and roti section, roti maker. And then the serving staff, 10 people as a restaurant waiters, right? And utilities. So overall about 4 lakh rupee monthly staff salaries. On the PNL side, sorry, on the PNL side, as Ankit ji mentioned, that average, almost all their 4 restaurants today, the average number of thalis per day averages around 400 thalis per day sort of number, right? So, but what we've done is we've taken, for a new setup now, we've taken thalis at 250 per day, which is about 60% of their current average, and parcels also 25, which is about 50% of the current average they are able to do in their restaurants. So even at this 50-60% numbers, we're still able to do a sale of 3.3 crores or 27-28 lakh rupees average monthly runs, right? On the expenses side, we have seen the staff requirement. Then a cost of food at 33%, because this is a thali system, right? So cost of food would be slightly on the higher side. Royalty 10%. Local marketing, this is spent by the franchisee himself, but well guided and well organized by the brand. Staff rent also we've taken, at a very high cost, 5 lakh rupee rent for a 2000 square feet. So this will give you access to most of the good locations in your city, and this is for a tier 1 metro and tier 1 cities. So if you are from a tier 2 town, the numbers would change, right? Utilities, which includes the cost of electric, Wi-Fi, telephone, water supplies, site maintenance, and all other small consumables. So about a 1 lakh rupee monthly. Then equipment maintenance and other things. So overall, on a sale of 3.3 crores annual, we're looking at 28.5, 2.9 crore annual expense. So which leaves you with 40-45 lakh rupees annual profit, right? And with an investment of about 50 lakhs, this means that you're able to achieve your ROIs and recover your initial investment of 50 lakhs, comfortably within 15 to 18 months period. Even if you want to include first 3 months as a slow gestation period, so even including that, 15 to 18 months is what we should be able to do our 100% ROIs, which means the recovery of entire 50 lakh rupees should happen well within 18 months period. So that's why this becomes a very exciting opportunity. And all the 4 outlets that company is running today, including 3 company stores and 1 franchisee, these numbers are achieved already. So these are not projected numbers. These are basis the current performance in their 4 outlets today, right? So that would bring us to the end of the presentation. Ankit ji, you would like to add points on the financial side?
Yeah, Anshulji, like I said earlier, about food costing. Here we have put food costing at 33%, but at all 4 outlets, it is below 30%. So the systems which we have put, like the in-store, like daily requisition register and all the systems we have, that has helped us to save that cost. So that increases our profit margin. So as the franchisee owner, he gets involved, he gets to know how the system works and everything. So his profit is going to increase as cost of food and everything he'll be able to control.
Correct. And I'm sure with the training, initial training that you would be giving to the franchisees, they would be able to run the restaurants quite efficiently.
Exactly.
G. So that brings us to the end of the presentation. Archana?
Thank you, Ankit ji. Thank you, Anshul. We'll start with some questions, Ankit ji, with with you. So you have a great experience in running the restaurants, and it's difficult to design from a thali restaurant. It's a complex to really develop the business model, which you've successfully done. And now I think it's much easier to duplicate because it's still a standard format that has a certain amount of what I call a fixed menu. So it's much scalable in that sense. But I know it's very complex to really get it right, because a lot of restaurants are not able to get the maths right. So with a big restaurant format with 120 odd covers, to achieve the capex in about 50 lakh rupees itself is a winner. Today, if you compare your thali restaurant, which is 120 cover, with a small format like Subway actually costs you more. And you can do a full-blown restaurant in 50 lakh rupees, which is 120 covers. That's a big compliment, because a lot of people go into mistake. There are a couple of thali restaurants which have very high capex. And so the return becomes very difficult to really achieve that. So one of the areas which is very exciting, because we get a lot of inquiries coming to us, people have that kind of real estate, but they don't want to put 2 crores or 2.5 crores in capex. So people go in the mistake, because thali restaurant itself is a value offering. People get a lot of value. They get a good meal option, great pricing, very satisfying as a meal. So you don't want to overdress it. So you don't want to really go out and create Italian marbles and things of that nature. And there are a lot of thali restaurants who've done this mistake. They spend unwanted money on things which becomes difficult for a return on investment for an investor. So I should compliment. Second thing, it's a good APC model. The problems other restaurants also face is the APC structure. Third, the cuisine he's chosen also brings in a lesser food cost. It's one of the lowest food cost capability. Otherwise, you have a higher food cost. So maths of a casual diner, which they have created, is actually to understand that how your food will be able to control your food cost, how do you control your other expenses, and only your profitability would come. So I'll give you a larger viewpoint on how a thali restaurant maths would work, and you can correct me, Ankit ji, if you want to do that. 30% is your food cost. About 20%, in this case, HR is higher, because you have to have a lot of functions, because you need to bring in a large throughput, and it is also servicing. So people need to be serviced, the multiple sections, and you need to deliver that. So HR normally in other restaurants is lower, but in thali restaurants it's higher. So it can go up to 20% of the value. You have a utility, which is another 10%, and which becomes 60, and then you have royalties, and then you are left with a certain margin. So let's start with Ankit, your first question. What is an average APC you see in the business, and what is the turnover of covers which you see on weekdays and weekends? So if I'm on 120 covers, how many times I'll rotate my covers, which means that how many times people would rotate in the weekdays and weekends?
Sir, we'll divide it in 2 parts, lunch and dinner. What we have seen in lunch, generally people don't prefer thali. Actually, it is other way around, but I've seen at our 4 outlets, lunch there is a little less footfall, but in dinner we see in lunch there is only one rotation on weekdays, say Monday to Friday. Saturday, Sundays, lunch we have 2 rounds of our 100 covers, and at dinner almost every day it is 2 rounds which we complete for dinner, and on weekends it is almost 3 to 4 times, and we are almost doing 600 to 700 thalis on weekends,
which is a very, very big throughput. So this is very exceptional. I don't want to really take investors to take this, because he's matured this and his sites are mature already. So you need to maybe start with the perspective of 3 rotations in a week, and maybe 4 rotations on a weekend. Then also the business model is very, very attractive. And I don't know how many restaurants are able to do this kind of rotation. So 3 on a weekdays and 4 on a weekend. That's why it's very important to get 100, 120 covers, because with this rotation, your volume becomes very high. So it's and sometimes the mistake also people do is create these smaller restaurants which are lesser covers, and lesser covers don't work in this business, because you have only 1 lunch and 1 dinner. It's not an all-day diner. The functionality is that you need to really have the highest throughput. So this restaurant has a minimum 100 to 120. You cannot also go overboard, because sometimes you go overboard, it doesn't work. And I think maybe at a later stage, you can open up another location if you feel that there is an opportunity. A lot of people open up 200, 250 cover restaurants, which takes at least a year and a half, 2 years to get to a throughput. Only weekends you would be able to turn around. Otherwise, weekdays you will not be able to do. So it's a very optimum size one has to really think through, which is 100 and 120 covers. My next question is, this is a business which needs a lot of product consistency. Because you have a lot of offering and a lot of prep time goes in, because in the morning prep would start at a particular time, and then only you will be able to do a multiple offering, and which needs very strong consistency of every single product, especially on F&B control, because the portion sizing, while thali restaurants can really be complex, you can really end up, and this can change your food cost drastically a particular month if you are not controlling. So what mechanisms you do to really create those systems so that your portioning, your F&B control, which is your product which is brought from the supply chain to your kitchen and kitchen to your customer, remains extremely consistent, and you're able to deliver absolute consistent experience to the same audience, because the same audience really comes 1 or 2 times in a month sometimes to have that, and they find, unless and they find consistency of the same product, because you create a small variation, but large part of the product remains same. And this is what American QSRs have done extremely well. Whenever you go to them, they have absolute consistency, and Indian restaurants are not able to do that. You will find a different typing, because somebody who's sitting on, who's a chef or a sous chef, who can have a variation. How you are able to control that? So we like to know.
First of all, sir, our menu is pre-planned. We have a pre-planned 7 days menu. In morning, there's a different menu. Dinner, there's a different menu. Everything is planned. So the ordering, the raw material acquisition, it is done according to that on daily basis. Secondly, we prepare vegetables and the dal and the rice, and everything is prepared for 50 to 70 people only at a time. That is going to finish. Our chefs and our managers, they communicate with each other. This is the time. So much waiting is there, or so much guests are expected. They start preparing again, another round. Generally, in thali restaurant, what everybody do is they prepare the food and keep it. They just reheat the food, same food, and keep repeating it. So that spoils the taste, the quality, and everything of the food. At our place, it's food is continuously made on every day. And our specialty, the which we serve, the black gravy, the sev bhaji, and Chinese and chaat, that are prepared daily, regular basis. And one bowl is prepared. As soon as that is about to finish, we prepare another bowl. The taste is maintained because the food is being prepared fresh.
Yeah, that's very important. It's a fresh food, so it gives you that kind of structure. Now, I'll also request our audience to go out on a Q&A box and also share your city which you're interested. You've already seen the phase 1. They want to be very aggressive on Maharashtra. Maharashtra has top cities where they want to do. It can be Nagpur or Nasik and multiple other cities across. I mean, Pune itself can hold a couple of other locations, and you can have other cities of Maharashtra. That's one. And then they want to also go to other cities. I think MP is a very good market. MP doesn't have too many thali restaurant at this stage. Very big overlap of food palette from Maharashtra to MP. I think these states behave very, very close to each other in terms of Maharashtra, Gujarat, MP, and Rajasthan. So a lot of food combinations are there. But Gujarat has many of thali restaurants, but MP doesn't have. So it's a great opportunity to really create an opportunity on entering that market. So I would say between Maharashtra and but they are open for other compelling locations which you have, say Bhubaneswar, Ranchi. These are places where you would see a big traction because they are not so much available in these markets. Even Raipur can be a phenomenal market for a thali restaurant because there's a huge audience which is available, a lot of especially Marwadi crowd, a lot of family crowd which wants to go to thali restaurants, but they don't have a good options available. So if you are interested in any of these locations, please reach out to our business hotline number and also on a Q&A box, reach that. I'll take one question. Food, we are seeing these days, particularly a lot of demand coming from people who have their own real estate, and they have some prime real estate. Earlier, they were all thinking about renting it out. Now, a lot of people are coming forward and say, we want to run and operate something there, which can be permanent income for them. And so they're, because they own the real estate, the large part of the OPEX issue, which is there for occupancy cost, they're able to generate certain amount of return on their property, and also they get some return on their investment. But they have sometimes problem in terms of management. Would you also consider some locations where you can also come forward and take the management? If somebody invests, I know it's not about giving any kind of minimum guarantee, but just for giving the comfort to investor that he is able to see through, because sometimes people don't have the capability to manage large staffs and manage the consistency and doing that. And now you're already doing it because you have that capability. Would you be open for some location where the compelling right site is there, somebody invest money and you handle the management part of it?
Of course, we can work the details out, yeah, but we are open to it. We can definitely see how the things work. And management is not an issue for us.
Correct.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, management is something which is your capability,
right,
and
right.
the majority of your team members are also there. Sometimes they also want to take a elevated role. Say,
Exactly.
Yeah, who wants to be a manager of the restaurant can be shifted to another location.
Yes.
So that you fuel a lot of good talent within your network and give them a career opportunity to grow up in the life that happens in the business. So if you are anybody who has a good option or a property and you want them to come and have a participate as a management, but it is a case-to-case basis, only if this property really is attractive and they want to really look at the operational comfort, because everybody has to have a bandwidth to operate things. And why companies franchise is because they want to not go beyond their comfort zone. They want to stay in the comfort zone, and the IP they've built, they want to leverage that through franchising. But in a case-to-case basis, Ankit ji would be open to really look at some of the opportunities where they can do a management contract also. So please reach out, and if you are interested in management. So over to you, Sonia, for your set of questions and also your opinion about the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Ankit-ji. I feel the presentation was quite elaborate, and I will maybe add that Thali business is a complete meal, as it gives every customer a very sumptuous meal along with the portion size, and very balanced. Some of the most popular thalis in India are Gujarat Rajasthani thalis. And Indian food traditionally has been very slow, unlike the West. And Ali set menu, I believe, is an answer to that, where we have a very fast serving than maybe any other fast food competition. I'll take some questions, Ankit-ji, from the audience. And maybe the first question that I want to have, we've talked about the rotation, we've talked about the APCs also. And I do see some questions which are coming from other locations like Bombay and some other cities also, where I see prospective investors like Kolhapur who are interested to participate and maybe get further on discussion. My question would be, what is an average revenue typical center or an outlet can make, and typically how long does it take for him to reach the level that you have, which is a rotation of say 3.5 or 4 on the weekends, and maybe a turnover of say 1 rotation on the weekdays. So typically, how long does it take for him to reach there, and on an average, what could be the projected sales from an outlet?
Sonia ji, see, it depends upon the location which we will have planning. The city, it depends how many thali restaurants it has. So since Gaurav sir mentioned about Raipur, I've also studied the Raipur market. There are very less thali restaurants, and no thali restaurant at the level which we are. So it will take a less time to achieve the kind of sales which we are seeing in Aurangabad, say Latur or Pune. We'll achieve that quickly. But where there are competition, we need to be patient. But definitely there will be turnaround. Say it will take time. That's it.
Okay. And typically, when it comes to the training, because it has a very extensive requirement of staff and very specialized staff, which is required for a thali restaurant. So will the company also help and support a franchisee in recruitment of these staff, one? And second, what kind of training is imparted to these people who are hired, and how long does it take?
Training is specially given to the kitchen staff, the chef, the Farsan chef, and the assistant chefs of the main chef. Rest of the service staff and it is hired by us only. We are going to provide it. The franchisee needs just two persons, a cashier and a store manager from his side. That is, there's a logic to that also. If everything is from our side, so there would be no checks and balances. The cashier and the manager, cashier and the store keeper, store manager has to be from their side to keep the check and balances at the restaurant.
Sure. So what you're saying is cooks and other specialized staff which is required is where the company would help and support, and other staff which could be maybe people from utility and other staff which is required, including maybe the finance person or the accounts or the cashier, is something which can be hired locally.
Yes, yes.
We'll also take some questions, Ankit, from our audience also. And I think we had one question on the cook, Maheshji is asking. So we have answered that, and we have assistance to the company as far as the cooks and other specialized staff is concerned. And how about the training of franchisee, Ankit ji? वो क्या partner की एक तो profile क्या होगी हमारे partner की? Do you need people who come from relevant background of F&B necessarily? And what kind of training would a franchisee undertake and go before he launches?
Yeah, like I said earlier also, ma'am, the franchisee owner doesn't need to be from the restaurant field or F&B background. It doesn't have to have that. A simple management guy also can manage a restaurant because we have put in such kind of systems and simple. Secondly, the franchisee owner, he need to visit our place for say at least 10 to 15 days, so that we could train him, make him used to what are the daily routine he needs to follow, daily routine checks he needs to see at the restaurant, what is done, what is not done. For that 10-15 days is he needs to be at our restaurant in Aurangabad.
Okay, that's the training at the head office which would happen for him. Another question which I'm taking is from Mr. Ashish Shah. He is also looking for a question while we've, because thali is primarily an experience altogether, and people like coming and dining at the outlet, then ordering. He's asking if there's also an option for a takeaway. Is that an option that we're currently offering to the audience, or we would not like to push that?
Right now, we have not thought about that. But later on, if we can offer, we'll see to it.
Okay. Between two, maybe just adding on what kind of online sales, while you also have collaboration with these platforms like Swiggy and Zomato, isme between your online and your offline business, what exactly is the revenue and the order mix? So kitne aapke online orders aate hain if we take an average of a month, and typically how much would that contribute to the overall revenue? And what are the average commissions which are imparted to these players?
30 to 35,000 per week is what we see from Zomato. Then there are Swiggy is there. On an average, if you see around 1 to 1.25 lakhs, we are doing online business through all the platforms and everything. But there's parcel business, which is takeaway business also is there. So that is more than this online business. Corporates, they order in bulk. They have special requirements. So that is also good. That also have a good potential in like city like metro cities in Bombay and big cities where there are big corporates. But standalone a thali restaurant for just a takeaway, right now I don't see a potential in it. Maybe I may be wrong, but right now there is not that much potential in takeaway and that.
Okay.
I
And
would add,
typically, how yeah.
that restaurants actually are being very safe from this disruption of delivery, because it's an experiential product and it would always be best done for dining. So while people still order something because the restaurant name is popular and things of that nature, so you get advantage of delivery piece, but it would never be replaced. A lot of other categories I know it couldn't be replaced, and people can just order. Thali restaurants are actually very, very strong, dining experience product, because of that experience, families would continue to come doing it, and I think that's a very strong viewpoint on the Thali restaurants.
Very helpful, Ankit. And maybe last question which I want to pick up is on the locations. What kind of locations are ideal for running a thali business?
The location, Sonia ji, needs to be commercial and as well as residential. Pure commercial, it is going to run only for the lunch time. Purely residential for the night. So ideal location for a thali restaurant, it should be a commercial as well as residential, or proximity to the residential at least.
I'm just going through some more questions from the audience. Ankit, what we can do if you allow, we have interest from certain cities that we have seen. Next week, we can do a discovery day where we can invite the interest of people who have come in today, and we can get them on a one-on-one discussion with you and your teams. अगर कोई भी एक दिन हम next week का fix कर सकते हैं, do you want to maybe suggest a date which is available with you?
Apart from 10th, anything is fine, ma'am.
And we want to really narrow down at this stage is 5 handpicked cities, which we feel is no brainer for us. We want to really go and really do the entire thing. Any 5 cities which comes to your mind, as you wanted to always have the restaurants in those cities because you see a great opportunity in that markets.
First of all, first preference I would give to Kolhapur, sir. Kolhapur being a dominant city, there's no veg restaurant, good veg restaurant. There's no veg restaurant there. There's a huge potential in Kolhapur. After that, Solapur is also there. Nasik.
Okay.
And
anything in
Bombay is there, Thane is there, but being a metro city there, investment would be a little more, and we have to work with
Nagpur, places like that.
Yeah, Nagpur is also there, sir. Nagpur. Then the Amravati is there.
Because Amravati, there's a lot of good development going on, and we can even take some places like, so this becomes 6. So let's go for Kolhapur, Sholapur, Nasik, Nagpur, Amravati, Raipur. Let's do these 6 cities, very clearly focus on that. And while we are open for discussions any place, but these 6 cities, we will make sure that we are able to do this. So let's keep a discovery day where we will come with you the site options and some good options, say on 12th of this month. 12th is a good date.
Yes, sir.
So 12th, friends, we are hosting the discovery day with Ankit ji, where we will like to shortlist. If you are from another city where you want to explore this restaurant, please reach out. But if you are in these 6 cities, even if some places in Thane or a New Bombay, places like that, also you want to really do that, there is an opportunity to do that, provided you are in the right rental space. But these 6 cities, we are very clearly focusing and trying to bring in a results on that. Any last comments, Ankit ji, you would have for our audience, and anything you want to say and which you want to share with us?
I've said everything, sir. Again, I'll just repeat one thing. Like the franchisee owner doesn't need to worry about the management part. Kaise manage karna. The restaurant has many aspects to, very well, many aspects. So in our system, in our model, there is no such hassles, and it is very simple system to follow. If he just keeps it regular checks and in the system, everything will be fine.
Absolutely. Look forward. You are a very hardworking entrepreneur, built a good business, and now you're scaling up. So we wish you best, and work hard with make sure that you are in your expansion and your growth. Franchise India is also part of it.
Thanks a lot. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you so much, Ankit ji, for coming in today. We'll come back to you on the 12th of this month with the shortlisted candidates.
Definitely. Thank you so
you.
much. Thank you.
Over to you, Archana.
Thank you so much, Ankit ji, for joining in. Thank you so much, Anshu. Thanks, Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am. We would like to thank our dear participants who have joined us today. Please do connect with us at different social handles, information on your screen. These are the various social handles from Franchise India side where you can connect with us. Please save our business hotline number, which is 9717683838 in your phone book so that you get a regular update from our side through broadcast messages. Do share your suggestions, feedback at the same business hotline number. You can also write and connect with management team of Franchise India at their respective LinkedIn IDs, information on your screen. And tomorrow, we invite you to attend our Business Opportunity with Chai webinar series post doing the registration at the same business hotline number for NavaVision. That's the brand we are bringing for you. They are already operational with 20 plus centers pan India. Great opportunity for you where you can start your unit franchise only with the investment of 5 lakh rupees. So please do not miss this chance. Join us tomorrow to understand the journey of NavaVisions. Thank you once again for joining in today. Have a great day ahead. Stay safe, stay happy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, friends.
Thank you.
Thank